Good evening, Harlem and Harlems of the world. I'm Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News. As you know, Harlem Network News is a media platform. We started at the onset of COVID, and we are still here. We are dedicated to assuring that Harlem and Harlems of the world are informed, engaged, and called to action. It is critical that we tell our own stories, and even more critical, as such a time is this, such a time as this. Well, this week we really had an amazing experience. This was the National Action Network Convention 2025, which took place at the Sheraton Hotel. And we were honored to be there as press covering the event. Such a wealth of information, such a wealth of panels, really to just make sure that our community was totally informed. I want to give a shout out to Reverend Al Sharpton and the NAN team because it truly takes a village. Folks came from all over the country. I also want to give a shout out to Reverend Al Sharpton is the president and the founder, but there's also a chair of the board, and that is in the person of Reverend Dr. W. Franklin Richardson. So a shout out to the NAN team because teamwork is dream work, and they truly proved that over this week. The conference started on Tuesday evening. It officially kicked off with an event for chapter leaders from all over the country to come right up to Harlem to National Action Network headquarters. And that was amazing. There was food, there was entertainment, but it was a good way to welcome our family. And I just want to share a clip of that amazing conference where you can see all of the folks just coming together. There was praise dancing, there was singing, drumming, people in community, great food, great communing. And this is very, very critical and very important at such a time as this. So, good way to start, good way to come together. And you can just see the emotion and the attention in the faces of the people. So we moved on. On Wednesday, the conference officially kicked off down at the Sheraton Hotel, where the convention has been held. And it kicked off with fireside chat and Reverend Al Sharpton speaking with Governor Wes Moore. That was very, very powerful. And then we went on to a fireside chat and panel on Black health. And that in itself was just so informative, so informative. And there was really a focus on Black health that deals with some areas that we don't normally talk about. And that had to do with transplants and stem cells. Our Jennifer Jones Austin, who is a CEO, an executive director, really, and on the board of directors, vice chair of the board of directors for National Action Network. She shared her health story. Albie Shore shared his story, and just the need for us to really be aware of the transplants that may be needed to save our family members' lives. And that's not something that we're engaged in a lot. It was even stated that because of what we have gone through as a people, sometimes our own brothers and sisters, who we both have the same mother and father, may not be a match for us because our genetics are muddied in certain senses. So that's something critical to think about. There was also an amazing panel with Ben Crump Esquire. You know, he has been all over on all the cases, really championing for justice for our people when it comes to all of the Black people that have just been murdered. And that panel was led by Ben Crump. We had Gwen Carr, the mother of Eric Garner, Pamela Diaz, the mother of AJ Owens. We had Felonious and Terrence Floyd, the brothers of George Floyd. We had Sabrina Fulton, the mother of Trayvon Martin, Wanda Cooper Jones, mother of Ahmaud Arbery, and also our very own city council representative, Dr. Yusef Salam of the Exonerated Five, was a part of that panel. So much to do, much to know, much to see. You can go to the National Action Network .net to their website and really pull down a lot of these panels. Harlem Network News, we were there. We shot live, so we will be bringing snippets to you. Another panel that really stood out for me had to do with the state of media. And that was just so powerful, so amazing. Actually, Joy Reid made an appearance and had a fireside chat with Reverend Al Sharpton. So it was just all across the board. We had a great panel on media that involved Era Lewis, Reese Colbert. It was just to see these people and hear them. Don Lemon was the moderator on that panel. April Ryan was on that panel, and just a discussion, particularly now in terms of what is happening with media, misinformation. A lot of our media people, even an example of a Joy Reid or Roland Martin, have in some instances been forced to go to independent media, but that doesn't mean that they will not be able to share their voices. And there was even a conversation. Don Lemon is in independent media now, but there's even a conversation that if you don't own it, then you don't have control of what's going to happen to you. But it was also spoken in terms of it's important to have those of us who are in the inside, so those on the outside can know what's happening and we can work collectively in that way. So that was a very powerful conversation. There's also a lot of conversation about DEI, of course. And on Wednesday, there was an amazing gala. Anthony Anderson of Blackish was the host. The one of the highlights was Patti LaBelle. She was honored. There were several other honorees, but it was just Black excellence. Martin Luther King III, the son of Dr. Martin Luther King, was there. He has a new book about legacy. We were able to get signed copies of that. You know, it was just really, it lifted you up at such a time as this, because when we get in community and we are informed, there is truly no stopping us. No stopping us. There was a luncheon on Thursday, which was a women's luncheon. Tatiana Ali was honored. Cheryl Wills was one of the moderators for the panel for the women. Menyan Moore, I salute you. She's one of the producers of that incredible Democratic convention and really responsible for assuring that Black media was in the building. I'm very, committed, and I dedicate everything to Menyan Moore because she helped Harlem Network News get our credentials. That's what it is. It's about holding the door open. So, Letitia James, when I was in one room and I had to run over to the women's luncheon, but I was hearing such a roar, I was like, what is happening? But what was happening is that Letitia James was on fire. Our Attorney General was on fire. So it was just really very powerful. Was a fireside chat with our Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg. There was also a conversation with the Brooklyn DA. I mean, these people knocked it out of the park, but you were there able to be up close and in person and in community. There was a panel on gun violence, and I'm a member of Harlem Mothers and Fathers Saved. Jackie Rowe Adams was on that panel. I'm just highlighting a few things that really stood out for me. The youth panel, amazing, 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 amazing. There was a young woman who attends Howard University, and she's instrumental in starting a NAN chapter at Howard University. She was on the panel, along with another young woman who was a graduate of an Ivy League school. So it was just a good cross the board conversation. There was an entrepreneurs competition for youth. Just you name it, it was covered. I'm Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News. And I'm exhausted, but I'm also energized from being at that conference. The panel on Black men, just really knocking it out the park. Our very own new Assembly member, Jordan Wright, was on that panel. Kathleen Trigg Jones, who has her own media company, was one of the people helping to ask questions on the youth panel and to moderate. So you name it, they were there, they were touchable. You could talk to them. And it was really just a great, great, great experience to behold. Uh, yeah, Terrence Floyd was on the male panel. So the folks were there. You could connect with them. You could listen. In some instances, you could ask questions. But most importantly, we were in community. And I also want to give a great shout out to Dominique and Ashley Sharpton, because they basically were holding it down. And that brings me to the conversation, because there was a panel, Children of the Movement, and that was extremely powerful. And Ashley Sharpton did an amazing job in leading that panel. You had Keisha Sutton James was on the panel, the granddaughter of the Honorable Percy Sutton, Hassan Flake, the son of Reverend Floyd Flake, and the Reverend Mrs. Flake. You had Reverend and Reverend Daughtry, and his wife is also Reverend. Their grandson was on the panel. Ade Williams from his father is Lloyd Williams of the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce and Harlem Week. He was on the panel. Jesse Jackson's youngest daughter, who is also Ashley, was on the panel, and she's into digital media. So it was just a good cross section and great conversations about what it is like to be the daughter of or the son of the movement. Like, what do you have to contend with? What is your responsibility? What about passing that baton? What's the weight on your shoulders? So just great conversations. And the convention ended with a fashion show that was produced by Dominique Sharpton, co-produced by Ashley Sharpton, and it was just amazing. It our children and our music and our creativity. And it ended with all the models and, poets and entertainers just circling the stage to wade in the water. So you have to tune in, but I'm inspired, I'm engaged. We have a lot going on. There was a mayoral forum, and that was so powerful because even though it took a while, we literally had every single mayoral candidate, for the most part, that sat down, fireside chat style, with Reverend Sharpton, and then was asked questions by a small panel. So it was just, you can't get better than that. Uh, Governor Cuomo sat down. Brad Lander sat down. Adrian Adams sat down. Mayor Eric Adams sat down. Uh, Zohan Mamdani sat down. He's a mayoral candidate. Zelnor Myrie sat down. Michael Blake sat down, as well as and as well as and I would say last but not least, Je- Jessica Ramos. She was on fire. So one of the things that I took away from that, and you will have the opportunity to make your own choice for mayor, but we have some very smart and capable candidates running for mayor. So I just encourage all of them. There's only going to be one mayor. We got ranked choice voting, so it's going to go down like that. And Mayor Adams is running on an independent ticket now, so he won't be part of that Democratic primary. That just happened like maybe the day before the conference or the convention. But I want to encourage all of these smart leaders, because they're all brilliant public officials, to whether or not you become the mayor, to stay and be accountable. Don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. We need you. We need to break the status quo. We need to help the people. We need to change education. We need truly affordable housing. We need fearless people that walk with intention and courage. That's what my takeaway is. So thank you for listening, and please become active. That is the mission of Harlem Network News. Black Media Matters. This week, we are going to launch our membership campaign for Harlem Network News. It is going to be $10 per month for membership. There'll be certain perks as you become a member. And it is also $100 for the year for membership. You can also donate to us via Zelle, via Cash App, via GoFundMe. Black Media Matters, and it's not free. So in order for us to really maximize bringing you news and information and engagement of more and more people, we need your financial support. And as our counterpart, Roland Martin says, bring your eyeballs home. So I'm with that, and that's a quote, and that is real. And we are the voice and the drumbeat of Harlem, quote, and the Harlems of the world. And that includes all of us. You can reach us directly at 646-261-5397. You can reach out to us via email at harlemnetworknews at gmail.com. And of course, follow us on all social media. Power to the people. I'm Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News. Thank you.